Hello again, Paul Phillips back again with the Euchre project. Today I want to talk about the rules of the game. The game is played with 4 people per table. Each pair is a partnership. So the version we're playing in Guelph, Ontario and around Southern Ontario, it's very popular, and this is what we're discussing here. So we use 2 euchre decks with jacks, aces, kings, and queens, no 9s or 10s. There are then 2 right bowers and 2 left bowers. 32 cards in play. Now I'm just reading these rules here. I plan to copy these onto a link at the bottom of the video here. You should be able to retrieve that whenever you want to take a look at it. But I thought it would be best to lay out the rules that we're using. So each person receives 8 cards after the cards are shuffled and dealt left to right. To determine the first dealer, anyone can shuffle the cards and deal the deck cards face up. Whoever receives the first jack is the dealer. Again, to emphasize the point, the object of the game is to accumulate as many points as possible. If you just bid 5 spades, you want to make 6, 7, or 8 spades, all of the tricks. So play begins with the person sitting to the left of the dealer, bidding either a no trump or by declaring a suit as trump. He or she may bid any number of tricks from 1 to 8. So this is a partnership game, remember, and the first person is telling partner the number of tricks he or she can take in the suit declared as trump. That is, if the 3 remaining players were to just pass. So a bid of 4 hearts tells partner, partner, I can take 4 tricks all by myself with hearts as trump, and if I'm given the right to play the contract. Another rule we have in Guelph and all around the area is that you must open with a right bower. You have to be in first and second position. You must have a right bower. Third and fourth position, you don't need a right. So you may be able to convert your partner's 3 club bid to 5 spades perhaps at the end of the bidding. Each person can only bid once, and the bidding proceeds around the table. In the example above, the second player may say 5 clubs and the first partner may say 6 hearts. The dealer is the last to bid. He may pass, raise his partner to 7 clubs, or make a call 2, call 1, or a moonshot. Each bid must be higher than the previous bid. So now we just talk a little about the scoring. As I mentioned in the first video, there will be a score sheet that stays at each table. This allows one person from each team to keep the score so that they can check each other's score as the game progresses. It shows who deals when, what contract is set, and what the resultant scores are for each partnership. Each player scores the number of points they receive after each hand is played. You receive 1 point for each trick taken, provided you make the bid your partnership declared. If a partnership is euchred, the opposition receives 1 point for every trick they get, and the euchred pair goes down the equivalent of what they bid. If a player decides they can make either a call 2 or a call 1, they may discard their worst 2 or 1 cards and ask partner for either 2 or 1 cards. If a call is made, the person playing must take all the tricks. If the player goes down, they record -12 for a call 2 and -18 for a call 1. A player has the option to call moon or moonshot, which requires the player to take all 8 tricks with the hand he or she is dealt. If you're successful, you score 24 points. If not, and you go down, you go -24. So you don't want to do that too often. Tallying the score. Each contest consists of 8 rounds against different opponents, where 8 hands are played each time. That's a total of 64 hands for the contest. Takes about 20 minutes per round, which are timed rounds, and 8 hands for a total of about 2 hours and 20 minutes. After all the players are finished, all scores are compared and the winners are declared from lowest to the highest, perhaps from 5th place up to 1st place, depending on the number of tables in play, of course. Each player turns in their traveling score sheet, that's if it's worth handing in, and that sheet records the results from each of the 8 rounds. Typically, a round of 8 hands may score anywhere from a minus score to about plus 75. There have been higher, but 75 is usually a pretty darn good score. Good overall score for 8 rounds might be anywhere from 250 to 325 points. It's easy to get lower, and it's not so easy to get a higher than 325. So playing begins, and before play begins, the scorekeeper records the highest bid in short form in the bid column beside the dealer's initial, such as 4 hearts or 5 no trump. This avoids confusion and disputes after the hand has been played. The highest bidder always leads the first round, putting a card face up in the middle of the table. The other players must play a card in turn, clockwise, also face up, and they must follow suit when possible. The 2 left bowers will be played as the second most powerful cards. Failing to follow suit when able to do so constitutes a renege. It is possible to correct a renege without penalty if the player replaces the misplayed card before the next card has been played. However, if the renege is discovered after the next round has been played, the offending team loses the amount of their bid if they were the ones making the successful bid. If the defenders reneged, they should be penalized the amount of the successful bid. Although at many clubs there is no penalty for a renege, the cards are just redealt. Each club has their own rule, even though a lot of clubs don't post that particular rule, but it is good to get that straight before everybody plays. Playing in turn. All players must bid and play in turn. Bid should be said in a clear and fairly loud voice. If a player bids out of turn, they are barred from bidding and their partner is not allowed to bid their suit. Pulling 1 or 2 cards from your hand with plans to announce a call 1 or call 2 out of turn is not allowed. Doing so announces to your partner, "Don't bid, I have a call hand." So that's not allowed. A card laid is a card played. A card played from a hand is in play once it hits the table and cannot be taken back. If a player announces a bid but changes it in the same breath, it is allowed. For instance, a player might say, "I'll do a call 1 in spades." I mean clubs. That's allowed, but if it's said with immediate intent to play in spades, and then you look at your hand and realize, "Oh, I just made a mistake," you can't change it. That's not allowed. When you are playing a hand, take in each trick and place them in front of you. The defenders should do the same. This saves disputes after the hand is played. Claiming a hand. We are all under a time limit to play the allotted 8 hands per round, so playing quickly is advisable, and it may save missing out on being able to play and score 1 or 2 of the last hands. If you're in 6 spades in a hand, for instance, and you've accounted for all of the trump and realize that you will take all 8 and that the last 2 cards can't be beaten, you may claim them by showing that you will take the next 2 tricks. Likewise, when laying a call hand down, you can claim that you will take all the tricks. However, You should announce your line of play, just like they do in playing bridge. You're allowed to claim in bridge, but you must declare your line of play. It is obvious that if you have all 4 bowers and an ace of trumps, you have the top 5 trumps and you can't be beaten no matter what kind of distribution there is. So if you say something like, I'll play my bowers starting with the right bower or something like that, that's okay. You should not just throw your cards in the center, as the opponents have the right to challenge your line of play if you do not announce it. Now let's talk about moving. If a partnership wins their round, both players move to a new table. The traveling score sheet shows whether you are green or blue. Green goes back to the lower number table, and the blue sheet moves to the higher number table. The losing partnership at the table stays at the same table they were just playing at, and one person moves to another seat to join up with one player that moved from a lower number table, and the other plays with the person coming from the higher numbered table. So I'm planning to do a few more videos that's going to talk about bidding, some strategy, distributions, some examples, and as I mentioned in the first video as well, perhaps film some people actually playing the game so we can see some real life situations. So that's it for the rules right now. There may be a few others I haven't touched on, but if I think there was, I'll post that again in another video. So I want to thank you for joining the Bid Euchre project here. Please like and subscribe, and tell your friends about what's coming up on the Bid Euchre project. So have a great day and have fun. Talk to you later. Bye.